ஹாரிஸ் ஜெயராஜ் இசையில் ஜேடி ஜெரி இயக்கத்தில் தி லெஜெண்ட் சரவணன் நடிக்கும் தி லெஜெண்ட் திரைப்படம் ஜூலை 28 முதல் உங்கள் அபிமான திரையரங்குகளில் காண தவறாதீர்கள்.
ஓரளவுக்கு திமிர் உண்டு எனக்கு, இந்த அளவுக்கு திமிர் இல்லை. ஜாம்பவான்களுக்கு நீங்கள் கூடியிருக்கீங்க. நான் கொஞ்சம் இங்கிலீஷும் சேர்ந்து பேசுகிறேன். தமிழ் எனக்கு அவ்வளோ அந்த அளவுக்கு தெரியாது, அவ்வளோ திமிர் இல்லை. ஆஃப்டர் தி வெரி டீட்டெயில்டு reports, explanations, analysis presented by my two friends from Sri Lanka, I do not want to waste much of your time going through all that again. As a journalist, I had identified Sri Lanka as a potent interest for a reporter in 1983 when I was with the Week magazine and the first boat of refugees arrived after the July riots in Colombo against the Tamil people. That was a cover story for the Week. I still remember, I was telling my friend Madan, the cover picture was a woman, a Tamil woman, looking pretty dirty, torn clothes, a hungry child in the hand, aluminum vessels in her hand, on the shore of Rameshwaram, 83. The pain still continues even today. In a different ways, multiple ways. Only thing is now Sinhalese are suffering, like what Madan said. Again, I shift the camera to, well, through the war we went. I witnessed the assassination of Rajiv. I witnessed the war. I witnessed the end of the war, 2009. 2010, January, I was interviewing Mahinda. He was the president then, at his house over lunch. I asked him, Mr. President, we have a problem. We, India, we have a problem with you. He said, what is it? This morning I go to the mall. I see Chinese mothers with children in their prams. I come from the airport earlier. I come on a Chinese-built hyperway. I see a communication tower built by China. I see a superhighway. Even the Jaffna highway is being built by China. Everywhere there is Chinese. We are very uncomfortable. So, he said, Bhagwhan, every project I gave to China, first I offered India. You guys refuse, no? I have to develop my country. What do? That evening, I was having tea with the first secretary in the Indian High Commission. I said, he was a Tamil man, good friend, a good guy. இவர் என்ன எப்படி சொல்கிறாரு? அவன் திருடா அப்படி தான் சொல்கிறான். அவன் எல்லாமே ஃப்ரீயாக கேட்குறான். நான் சொன்னேன், ஃப்ரீயாக கொடுத்தா என்ன? Our southern neighbor, it's a kind of a geopolitical, strategic investment வச்சுக்கலாமே. What's wrong in it? Then he comes out, இது வெறும் இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் மட்டும் கிடையாது. சப்போஸிங் ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள், ஒரு 100 மில்லியன் ப்ராஜெக்ட்னா 100 millions we can. For India is nothing. He wants 100 million for the project, 10 millions under the table. China can give. I can't give. Do you know who is the most powerful leader today in the world? Not the American president, the Chinese president, Xi. He is the president of China. He is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. He is the general secretary of the Communist Party of China, the only party that functions in China. Apart from that, the difference between him and Narendra Modi, he has no parliament to answer. He has no comptroller and auditor general to reply. What he says goes. And that's the reason why today, Madan may not say it here, the Rajapaksas are among the richest politicians, political leaders, present or past, in the world. They have investments all over the world. You have been reading newspapers. I don't want to go into that again. The latest news, today's news is that Gotabaya is coming back from Singapore because some rights organization wants Singapore government to arrest him. Even otherwise, Singapore government says they're pretty good. That way, I think they are among the best administrators in the world. They told Gota, well, you have come as a visitor, come, go to the park, maybe you can go to a movie and perhaps a doctor, but go back home. So he's going back. I think he is going first week of August, right? Mahinda is already there. In fact, Mahinda Rajapaksa had participated in the election of Ranil. Coming to Ranil's election, as Madan said, for somebody in a parliament of 225, he was the only member from his party, UNP, that too a nominated member. His critics, detractors say that his criticism is, he has not even been elected, but he is today the Prime Minister. He is the President. From Prime Minister has become a President. What I can see as somebody who has been observing Sri Lanka and following it up, I've got lots of friends who tell me like Madan, I see an India hand here. For the first time, India has opened its eyes. A couple of years ago, or maybe a little less than that, maybe 18 months ago, I had written a long article in News 18, how China gobbled up Sri Lanka while India was sleeping. I knew what it did in Delhi. I said, while we were snoring, the dragon was paddling along the Park Straits and was setting up a windmill project in one of the islands, which is just about 30 minutes boat ride from Rameshwaram. That's when Delhi woke up. But then after that, we have been moving very quick. And we have got some very nice, Chulwangalya, a better weather with China, Colombo honeymoon breaking down. I remember 2009 when the war ended and Mahinda was addressing Gulf Face, pretty much where the agitation took place today. Gota go home. Gulf Face is a beautiful beach, even better than Marina in some ways, because there you can hug your girlfriend or boyfriend and you can all that. Lovely beach, right, Madan? A young man like you would be knowing anyway. Gulf Face is where Mahinda had his victory rally. He won the most fiercest, terrible military that has even defeated the IPKF. So he was celebrating and happy to be there. And he said, I must thank Pakistan and I must thank China. And towards the end of the war, from January 2009, I asked for heavy weapons and India was not willing to help. They had their domestic compunctions. Domestic compunction இங்கே கொற்றமழையில் they had the human chain agitations, poor nirthu, you had Karunanidhi fasting. So India was not able to supply the heavy weapons and China was flooding it, Pakistan was flooding it. So he said, I will ever be grateful to China and Pakistan. This is the statement he made. Yes, India, of course, they are next door. They are our friends traditionally. And soon after that, the Pakistan High Commission, they had a guy called Siddiqui, I remember. Siddiqui actually was an ISA guy. And he was given a visa officer's position there, basically to spy on India. He had a position, and in fact, we arrested a guy here in Trichy, a man called Ansari, as he was actually a potato onion seller in Colombo, Peta, who was recruited by Siddiqui's man. They were recruiting, basically targeting Ramanathapuram, Madurai side Muslim people to recruit, give them a Sri Lankan passport, send them to Pakistan for training, bring them back and send them to India. Fortunately, we broke that, and on Ansari's position, we found so many classified information on, for example, Visakhapatnam, the nuclear submarine station, stuff like that. Anyway, that's a long story. Coming back to this, 2009, from the victory rally, 2010, my interview, Mahinda, the entire Rajapaksa clan was firmly in the Chinese lap. It was a combination of the old loyalty of the weapons, heavy weapons, and Indian inability. It was also the huge attraction of the heavy cuts that were coming under the table from the Chinese. And what was the interest of the Chinese? Unlike India, இப்போ சொன்னீங்க இல்லையா, தொப்புள் கொடி உறவு நமக்கு இருக்கு. When we give something to Sri Lanka, we don't want to gobble up the territory of Sri Lanka. But for China, Sri Lanka is part of their, the necklace from China to their huge, the ore mines in Africa, the ores that are transported. They have these ports. One of that is Sri Lanka. They have to protect their shipping lines. So Sri Lanka is right there. And then for them, they've gobbled up huge places in Africa, all over the world. And only now people are coming awake that China, give a debt, like what Madan said, in unproductive projects like they have done in Africa. They have swallowed the Entebbe airport entirely. It has gone into Chinese control. The only international airport in that part of Africa. So they give like Kappale Pogada seaport, Hambantota. It first came to India. The Indian engineers checked out and said, you can't take a ship into the Hambantota. But that was Mahinda's constituency. He wanted and then he was getting a huge cut. And Chinese were willing to take it because they had the technology to break through any rock in the sea, which is what they've done. And India backed out of Hambantota. Now no ship goes there except the Chinese ships and Chinese submarines. Like that, they have got major projects for which Sri Lanka has borrowed huge money, and they have got into a debt trap. And India slept. India slept right from the beginning. I used to, after the war, I wrote some of the personal anecdotes. I'll finish it fast. I wrote a very long email saying the war has ended. Now I have seen personally war widows, just a single woman families with little children. Why can't we invest some money? Why can't we take when I met every vice chancellor, every owner of a university here to put up a university there. I spoke to the government people here. They said, to whom do we speak? Madan, to whom do we speak? among the Tamils. I sent emails to all the Tamil people. I said, when LTT was there, when Prabhakaran was there, he was putting a gun onto your head and asked you to pay $10. The diaspora in Paris or London or anywhere, that fellow will be working 3 shifts in a day, including in the night. But he will keep apart $10 or $5 a day to be given to the war front of LTT. I said, the LTT is gone, war is ended. Why don't you give just $10 every month to just a fund to take care of the survivors, war survivors? Fantastic idea, they will say. My friends in the diaspora, Australia, Paris or Canada, நல்லா இருக்கு, செய்வோம் செய்ய மாட்டாங்க. அதான் யாழ்ப்பாணத்து மாதிரி ஒரு செல்ஃபிஷால நான் பார்த்ததே இல்லை மதன், ஒத்துக்கிறீங்களா? உண்மையை சொல்ல போனீங்கன்னா, உண்மையை சொன்ன போனா நாம இங்க சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கிறோம்ல தொப்புள் கொடி உறவு, ஒரு யாழ்ப்பாணத்தை வச்சு தான் சொல்லணும். என்னோட ரொம்ப உயிர் நண்பன். They care 2 hoots about us. In the early 1980s, oh no, 87, no, maybe early, I can't remember. I was talking to Balasingham. He used to come to my office in the week. So I said, Balana, no, before that, Balana was telling me, நாங்கள் அதை செய்ய மாட்டோம். என்ன செய்ய மாட்டீங்க? நீங்களா இந்த சினிமாக்காரனை பின்னாடி போறீங்க, முதலமைச்சர் ஆக்குறீங்க. ஆனால் நீங்கள் அவர்கிட்ட காசு வாங்குறீங்க. உங்களோட நண்பர் பிரபாகரன்ஸ் ஃப்ரெண்ட் எம்ஜிஆர், எங்கள் காசு வாங்கும், அவர் பார்ப்பார், பேசுவோம். But we will not go behind this cinema people. That kind of a very scant respect even today they have for us. Do you know how many times, I don't know whether Lakshmi has experienced this, how many times they have told me they'll be friendly to me. Our RAW ஆள். RAW was a dirty name. India is a dirty name. When 1980s, early 80s, I used to go to Jaffna. Almost in every house in Jaffna, I would find an Indian leader's photograph. Indira Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Mahatma Gandhi. But after IPKF, India is a dirty name. Indian journalist is the RAW man. And today, like Madan said, there's a golden opportunity. Now that India has woken up, and I'm for a one MP leader, Ranil Wickramasinghe, 6 times Prime Minister, to have come to power with Indian help. I was telling you about how the China honeymoon failed. அது மதன் தான் எனக்கு சொன்னது, சொல்லக்கூடாதுன்னு சொன்னாலும் சொல்லிடுறேன். சரி, ஓகே, மதன் சொல்லலை. We are all friends anyway. Journalists are like that. Yeah. What happened was a long time back, not quite a long time back, these projects, commissions, ordinary people becoming billionaires, it was going on. The little Sri Lanka was shrinking, but a few people were growing. Then one project happened. It was a major highway project where, sorry, the major highway project, suddenly they found it, they were paying 45% commission. So the concerned minister, he was not a Rajapaksa family, but he was a friend of the Rajapaksa, and a good amount of money will go to Rajapaksa. China first kadichadu, as usual, the highway project, but then it was taken away from him and given to somebody who gave 45% commission. So these people, the Chinese, were very angry. They go to Gotabaya, they go to Mahinda. Mahinda is still the patriarch of the family, the head of the family. They look away. And இவங்களுக்கு காசு போகுது, moreover இந்த மினிஸ்டர் கிட்ட நம்ம பேச முடியாது. So the Chinese are supposed to have said, எந்த ஒரு crowd, 2009 when you won the war, the Sinhala people hailed Mahinda as the emperor. You know, there was a singular emperor. What was the name? Gautamanu. Gotagamanu. Yeah, Gotagamanu. So he was hailed as the Gotagamanu of the modern era, because those days Gotagamanu vanquished and threw away the Tamil king. அந்த மாதிரி இங்கே பிரபாகரனை வீழ்த்தடிச்சது Mahinda. So he was hailed that way. So which the same crowd, the same people who hailed him, who crowned him, we will ensure that these people will throw you away. And initially, Madan, this is what I heard, I may be wrong. You are a man on the ground all the time. Initially, yes, what the Tamils felt from the early 70s, 80s, when the war started. 1983 was the first time when the militancy really burst into open after 10 soldiers were ambushed by the LTTE, and then it led to the anti-Tamil pogrom in Colombo and all that happened. அது பிறகு 80s, 90s and all that, whenever you go to Jaffna, whenever you go to north, you will have no electricity, no buses, no trains, no nothing. No petrol na irukum, but rare and long queues. And so actually when this problem happened, when the bubble burst in the Sinhala Sri Lanka, and the people realized what the shortages were. My friends would call up Colombo in the street, like, you know, I think this happened in இங்கே கூட நடந்திருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஒரு பர்டிகுலர் பிரெட் ஷாப் திறந்துருக்கு, உடனே people will run. The bread shop will close in about 15 minutes time. Stops run out. When the Sinhala people realized this, witnessed this, experienced this, that's when they came out into the street. Initially, Madan, correct me if I'm wrong, initially they were peaceful. They were peaceful protests on the same golf face, tents. Like Jallikattu eppadi Marina initial nadandilla andha mari. Tents, they will cook food, one will share food with the other, whatever little food they had. Then the violent crowd took over. The JVP or split ultra left group came into the picture. And I was told that a core section of real violent core section was funded by China. There was a star hotel in Colombo where they were meeting almost every day, where they will compare notes, what's happened today and what are you going to do tomorrow. These are all things that happened which went in favor of India. It weakened Rajapaksas, it drove Rajapaksas out using people's power. It's a kind of a dichotomy that the Chinese involvement was there in India coming into power. But like what Madan said, this is the time for India to consolidate. Consolidate in the sense that when I first used to go to Sri Lanka, early years, the Sinhala people, in fact, I was told that the Sinhala textbooks used to have. The child used to be told, you stretch your leg out into the sea and it will fall into the sea. We don't have any place. Whereas the Tamil fellow, he has got Tamil Nadu. He's got India, the mother country. We have nobody, no country, no territory. We are just a little small segment of a small island. But that has changed now. That has changed now in a way that, like what Madan said, இப்போ இந்த போராட்டம் நடக்கும்போது, unfortunately the Tamil people did not participate in the போராட்டம். And I got a few friends there. I do write to a Tamil paper. I wrote openly. I said, you should have participated. You are making a mistake by not participating. Some of them were angry with me. They said, we suffered like this. அவங்க வந்தாங்களா, முட்டாளுங்களா? Manikanu Mutta, Manikanu Madan. Manikanu Madan. This is an opportunity for you to get onto the platform. Don't consider it an alien platform. This is an opportunity for you not only to climb onto the platform, but ultimately to claim the platform. நீங்கள் சொன்னீங்க இல்லையா, India should not lose the opportunity. I'm telling you, Tamils should not lose the opportunity. And again, when Ranil was forming the government, I wrote there, Ilanadu, I said that Tamils, Douglas has been a permanent, Douglas Devananda is a Tamil militant leader who has joined a political stream. He is a permanent fixture in the Sri Lankan Sinhala government. Douglas should not be the lonely minister. There should be other ministers. There should be other parties going in. You should not only enter, but you should capture. Like what Madan said, India should move in. I'm saying Tamil should move in. That will give us confidence. You say that we have to invest here, there and all that. Why would we? Why should we? We are not stupid. Why will I throw one 10 paise coin into a gutter? Can you prove to me that you are not a gutter? You will prove to me you are not a gutter by strengthening. Now, why did India choose Ranil? Simple, a 6-time Prime Minister, a man who is experienced in handling crisis. Do you think Sajith will handle it? I don't trust so. Delhi doesn't trust so. How many people here know Sajith Premadasa? IMF doesn't know him. When Sabri, the finance minister then, went to IMF last year, who went with him? Who was with him there? It was Nirmala Sitharaman holding his hand. It was India which underwrote the application to IMF. The plan to move in by India, by Delhi, started a little before that, a few months before that. And why are we doing all this now? Although so late. Sri Lanka is our southern neighbor. We have a battlefront up north. It's all disturbed. Northwest, northeast. Just this morning I saw in newspapers, Myanmar, the junta executed 2 pro-freedom campaigners along with 3 others. After the coup, they have been executing one after the other. I'm told about 50 people have been killed. So every place around us, apart from Pakistan, up north, everything is disturbed. Now south we can't afford. We can't afford. You know, we had chief ministers, Jayalalitha, Karunanidhi, everybody saying, Nanga Amaidi Ponga. And the Amaidi Ponga or Kada Marakurad. Yeah. Sri Lanka is so important to us. It is not a small, tiny island. It's a geo-strategic island. We should not merely invest, in factories, in businesses. I would suggest, I recommend this forum to take up in a very strong way. There may be 50 people, 60 people here. I tell gatherings like this, each one of you have at least 10 friends. So talk to these 10 friends about what happened here. Don't trust the politicians I write in my Ilanadu articles. Don't trust the politicians. We should form alliances of civil society. Teachers to teachers, lawyers to lawyers, doctors to doctors, mothers to mothers. The civil society coalition is very, very important. Extremely important. Go beyond the political stream. We can start it today. And here, you have an opportunity, whether Tamils take it or not, we should take it. Hold hands with Sinhalese also. நான் தமிழ் நண்பர்கள்கிட்டயே சொல்லுவேன், சிங்களத்தனை நம்பலாம்ப்பா, யாழ்ப்பாணத்தை நம்பக்கூடாது. உங்களுக்கு தெரியுமா, பிஃபோர் ஐ நாட் ஓப்பன் திஸ், இல்லைன்னா போர் அடிச்சு உங்களுக்கு. A very close friend of mine, he may recognize the person. The tip I can say is that she's a lady. I respect her. I call her Akka. She's based in London. She's a Sri Lankan Tamil. Highly respected by the diaspora. And a very senior journalist, retired now, from one of the top organizations in the world. When I go to London, I stay in her house. ஒரு தடவை போன போது she was crestfallen. She was almost in tears. அன்றைக்கி சாயந்தரம் she hardly picked on her dinner. அக்கா என்னாச்சு? என்னுடைய தங்கவுடைய டாட்டர், கடைசி அவள் டாக்டர், அவள் என்ன பண்ணா தெரியுமா? ஒரு இந்தியன் தமிழ் பொடியனை கட்டிட்டான். Thank you very much for this evening.